Okay, got you another video. I've been very busy doing projects on the side, and now I have time to work on this guy. The Clearline fiber tool. It's got a calibrated light source and a calibrated meter, and it's very, very nice. I like it. Maybe they will let me keep it longer or forever, because I really like it. Case comes with it, and very well laid out, thought out product with all the cables and the adapters. And the only mistake I made in this video, because I'm recording this after, in this video, I kept calling this an FLV. Don't know why. My pre-brain, maybe something wrong in there. It's actually called a visual fault locator, VFL. They are only to see light on the other side of your fiber. That is it. That's all it's for. You plug it in one side, maybe somebody a couple kilometers away will say, hey, there's light or there's no light because you're troubleshooting, and that's all it's for. Nothing else. This unit that's in here has one built in, and I still don't know why until now why I named it wrong. But I test multi-mode and single mode cables with my nice shirt on, and all went well. The battery life on this device, a long time. I didn't even charge it. Didn't even pull the chargers out of the case, and I've played with it for a month and a half now. Honestly, I like it. So let's jump in. I'll show you how it works, and then after that, you guys tell me what it is. If I made any mistakes in the video, too bad. I'm still learning fiber, and I'm going to keep my mistakes in there because I'm human. So, let's go. Okay, let's open up the case. So when we get a Clearline SSFTK ITP-500, really long code or a product name, but the fiber tester kit, very durable case, as we can see. We can see we got a little sticker there saying test cables located in pouch, and they're in there, but actually I've put them behind here because I've been playing with this device, and I'm going to show you guys what all comes with the kit and what it's like. So when you get the kit, we have some instructions, test quick start guide, very, very helpful. They work very good. We'll follow some of this. We get some instructions on how to test premise cabling and stuff like that. Very, very handy, very clear instructions and very understandable instructions. What's this one? The manual for the device. I didn't really go over the manual. I watched lots of their videos because their videos were very, very handy, worked very well, so I skipped the manual. In the kit, we have our connectors. So let's go over those. We're going to use some of these in this video because we're going to test two types of cable. We're going to test this yellow cable, which is a single mode cable with LC ends on the end, or SC ends on the end. And then we're going to test this cable right here, the multi-mode. It was 100 feet, 30 meters, and it's got LC ends on it. They're kind of hidden right there. Okay, so they're in there. We're going to use that. We're going to do two different kinds of tests. And because this is a Clearline video and I've done creating a pair of cables, this one works, but not as good as it should. I could fix that in video number 2. This one actually has light coming out of the end of it, but it doesn't pass or do anything proper. So we'll do a video on testing these cables along with another one. But for now, let's check out these ends. So we have 2 screw-on ends, so we can test cables, put them on there. Probably for the, I believe this one was for, I put them all back and forgot half of them. Let's see what this one was. I believe this one was for the tester to test screw-on type. Yeah, screw-on type BNC looking ones. I can't remember the name of them, but that's what these are for. So these are adapters for that. Put these all back in here. This one, I'm not too sure what this is. It was in the bag, but I couldn't find out any information on it, so that's that. This one is an SSF SC cable, so an adapter to push 2 of these together to test. I don't think I have 2 cables, but we'll try it. This adapter right here is to mate 2 LC single mode, so it says right there, LC single mode adapter, so you can put 2 cables together. It doesn't show the loss, but I'll have to put the loss in there, or maybe we'll measure that, we'll see. And the last one is a LC multi-mode in here. Notice that they're 2 different colors, so that way you guys can identify them later on. I'm keeping them in the bags so I don't forget what they are and where they go. Okay, we have 2 fiber cleaners. We have this tester. We're not going to try this. This is for wire tracing. In here, we have our source, which is really, really nice. And then we have our power meter, which is also very nice. The screens on these, here, I'll show you guys quickly here. Check this out. These things power up pretty quick too. Ready to go. Look how clear this screen is. Look at that. Easy to see, easy to work with, and they're just nice. Like, it's a beautiful looking screen. Totally different than what it is from what this camera can capture, but yeah, that's that. There's 2 adapters to charge them. I haven't charged these yet, so I haven't had any need to pull these cables out and use them, so they're still sitting in here. Our cables aren't up here. They are, so I put them back here because I've been playing. So we got a whole pile of cables that came with this kit. So let's have a look at these. I'm gonna move this off to the side. So we have my cable, and then in this kit, we have a whole bunch. So we have a single mode, 1310 to 1550. This is the same thing, just 2 of them, so that way we can do testing. So when we test this, we can have our points that don't change. Actually, this one's an SC to SC, and this one's to LC to LC. And this one is a LC to SC. Sorry, I'm trying to keep these up to rate. So we have a couple cables here that should be helpful. And we have the same thing in multi-mode. So SC to SC right here. Okay. And we have SC to LC. And then we have LC to LC. And I really like that Clearline went ahead and showed us what our loss is when we use these cables in line. So when we use these cables, we have to factor in what we lose with this actual cable, and it's not necessarily the glass that you're losing line or the losses, it's the connector that we're losing our loss on. Glass is over this distance right here is really going to be unmeasurable. It'd be pretty hard to, but with these connectors, that's where the loss is, and they write that on the bag, so that way when you do your calculations and when you zero stuff out, you can actually know what these actual are going to be for loss. Pretty handy to have. I'm going to leave these out because we're going to test a cable here soon. But if we want, let's try testing one cable here. We have this right here. So I'll show you guys how easy it is to use these devices. On this device, you can see, I'll bring it up here. Hopefully you can see it. On this side for the light source, you have to use the correct side to test this. And on this one, it measures from 850 to 1300, which is going to be multi-mode. And then single mode is from 1310 all the way up to 1550. So let's take this cap off. Now, I'm not going to clean these because I've already cleaned them before I put them back in the bag, but it's always best practice to clean your ends. So we'll put this into here. Okay. Keep our ends together. Put them on the bag here. Oh, actually, I want to turn this on first. So let's turn on the laser source. And every time you turn it on, you should clear it by clicking reference once. And then it zeroes everything out just in case it's remembered something. Okay. So what we do is we go like this. Push this over here. Try to keep our cables in nice clean matter here, and it's going to flip over, so maybe we want to go backwards here. Yeah, that makes sense. There we go. Power meter and light source. Now these are backwards, so I'm hoping you can keep these in focus and keep it going here. But as a simple cable right here, just to check the optical output on these meters and to check that it's functioning, we can go like this and click the pi button down here. I'm going to call this the pi button, and this will toggle to 1310, 1550, if you guys can see that here. Let's see. There we go. 1550, 850. So we want to be on 850 to check this cable. These aren't touchscreen, by the way. You have to use the buttons on here. So we're going to set this to 850. And as you saw when I did that, this number changed. Here, I'll go through it again one more time to show you. So 850, 1300, off, 1310. It's not measuring anything because we're in the wrong thing here, and it doesn't see that, but the cable shouldn't work properly when you use the wrong one. So we'll go through this again, right to 850, and there we go. We got 46.78. Now this is going to jump around, so what we should do is just let this sit here for a couple minutes so it can actually settle down and get to a final number. These are very nice clear screens. You guys can't see how clear these screens are because the camera's not picking it up properly, but it's extremely clear. But right now we have a cable that is stable and on there, just a basic multi-mode cable, SC to SC into the unit. That's a very basic test. So if we wanted to, we could put another cable in here and check. But we'll do that in a couple minutes here. Let's let this cable set. Okay, as you guys can see, maybe it's settled down, but this was just a very basic test just to show that the meter is set correctly and it's gone in here. That's not really our base. So what we really want to do now to test a cable is we want to move this cable out. And I have two of these cables right here that I want to use. And the reason why I'm using these is because it's got an SC connector on both ends to LC. Okay, so we're going to change this out. I'll clean these cables later, but let's put our hats back on, or our cups, so we can keep them nice and clean. Okay, so we'll put one in this side. I already cleaned these cables before I use them. I've been practicing this video a while. Oh, I'm gonna put the hat back on. Sorry, looking at the camera and the tester at the same time. Okay, we're here. I'm gonna switch these back because these cables like to bend a certain direction. Okay. Put this over here. What we want to do is introduce a cable into this. First, we're going to take a connector out of here, this one. And the reason why I want to use this one is because it's LC to LC and, upside down, and it's multi-mode, which is what we're doing here. This is a multi-mode setup we're going to do here. So I'm going to need two of these, but I have another one already. So what we do is we take this and put it into here, like this. Oops, upside down. And we will set, our connector is already sitting right here. So you can see down here what our loss is right now. So we're sitting at 46.35. We got a connection. When checking cables, it's always about the loss and what you're losing when you put cables in here, what kind of stuff you are going to lose. So right now, there's a loss right here in the video, I will tell you what the loss is for that. Because if we were to put this cable back, this number right here, we'll go back up to, what did we have? I think 46.59 or something like that, or we're at 3.39. After this settles down, it's probably going to be around that mark. Okay, so this, if we were to actually calculate that, this right here will be a certain loss. But what I want to do is now interject one more of these and a cable that I've tested, and we're going to see how much of a loss we got. So right now, if we take this right here and we zero this out and then change a cable for this and that, we'll see the loss. Watch this. So what we need to do is we have to go like this and push reference, which is going to zero this out like that. Okay. So now what we want to do is change the cables. So we want to change this cable to put in another cable. So I'm going to show you a small patch cable that I have that works just fine, and this loss isn't really going to be that much. So what we'll do is we'll go, which end? Doesn't really matter, I guess. We'll go here. Put that cable in there. We have to add a connector, which is more loss. So we'll stay on this side. And we'll put it into here. Now watch how much loss we've just lost by putting that connector in there. 0.21 of a loss by putting that cable in there. That's not that much, but remember how I said I have two cables here? This one isn't too bad, but this one is a fail. If I put that in there, you're going to see how much loss and how important it is to terminate these cables and test them, because technically I have my tester, which just puts out a 650 nanometer light source so we can actually see it, into this cable. And yeah, we see light. Watch. We'll take my trusty connector here. So we have it on. See, we see light. See, there's light down there. But we're not really needing to see the light. There's so much loss to this right here, and there should be hardly any. Remember, I just put a cable in right here, this cable, and there was hardly any loss. This cable, we'll put it in and I'll show you how much loss there is. And yes, I could use the FLV in this right here. I just didn't because I wanted to keep those running. But this cable fails. Look at this. Watch how much loss is going to go here just by changing this little cable right here. Take this out, and put this one in. But remember, we're seeing light, so maybe people will say, hey, it's going to pass. But look at that. Look how much loss. Almost 50 or 14.5 dB loss from a 3-foot cable, if that. So that cable's a fail. Now, this cable right here, same kind of thing, less loss, potentially could be fixed properly. And this was my very first cable that I made. You guys will watch it on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link below. This was my very first cable that actually this one was the first one. I kept it as a fail. This one was a second cable. And I used these to go, oh yeah, maybe it's good or not. But you'll see, watch. See how much loss there is now? I've lost 1 dB, and it could be proper because these ends will lose a little bit of loss because of the ends, because they're mechanical. So this cable could potentially be really good, but I'm going to call it a fail because I think it could be better. And I bet you if I spent some time, maybe my third round of doing this cable, maybe it's got to go in like a little bit, or it's got to be tweaked a little bit, but we're going to build a cable later on. But having this tool will show you and prove to you, just because you've got light coming out of your FLV doesn't mean that your cable is really, really good. You need to have an accurate measurement, which is exactly what this setup does. Calibrated light source, calibrated power meter to show you how much loss you really, really have. Extremely important, because just because you see light on the other end or you shine light through it doesn't mean that it's good. You need to know the loss that you're losing through a cable, hence this right here. Now, I'm going to clean all this up, put my ends on, clean my ends with my cleaner that's beside me here, and then we'll do the same thing for this yellow cable, which is a single mode cable, and we'll try that with this tool over here. So let me pack this up. Before I put this away, and explain that when you're testing fiber, you want to try not to interrupt your meter side for testing, because this can change. If you look at this, see how that number's bouncing around? Can't really see it. See how the number's bouncing around every time I move it in and out? Even though this is clipped in here, this changes. So you don't want to, per se, change these 2 points. I like to not. I've been learning as I'm watching videos and other people test stuff. If we can eliminate moving this and this point and only having these 2 points, you'll have a better result testing cables. That's why I introduced these 2 pieces here. Theoretically, I should have 2 of these in this line and then zero it out by putting in a small calibrated cable, a very good brand new cable. And then what you do is you've created in the middle here, a 0 point. So anything you put between here, you'll know you're lost, because when you set up a cable to test, you have this coming out, and then you zero this, and the only thing that's changing right here is this cable right here. So this will be your point of change. So perfect example of that is if I take this out, I change this out, and I put this cable in to the right part. Yes, you're going to kill me because I didn't clean it, but technically I haven't done anything yet. We'll see that down here, we're at a loss of 0.22. Right? So just wanted to mention that in the video, the reason why I'm doing this. And this is called, I believe, a 3-point fiber test, because we're not changing these. We're not changing these sides. We're only changing one side in the middle. If I made a mistake on how I labeled it and said it, you guys can comment below. But as I said before, I am learning step by step, one at a time. And these 2 tools in my hands right now has provided a lot of information and a lot of help for me to learn. So thank you very much for Clearline for that. Now, let's change out and go to some single mode cables. There we go. Amazon delivered us some cables. We got some SC single mode cables to do a test with this and these 2. And I've cleaned them already, because you can see that the bag's been opened. So we've cleaned them. I'm also going to show you how to use the VFL on this device, which is right, hard to see when I'm looking at my thing here. Where is it? It's on this device. My bad. It's not on this device. It's on this one. Right there. So let's do some testing. Turn these guys on. The first test we will try is to make sure that we have our device set up properly. This is our laser source, so we need to be at 1550, which is right there. Our meter needs to be at the same, and I have it set already because I was playing with this. Okay. I did learn something new. When there is light and a cap off of here, if you reference this, I don't know if it'll do it right now, but when I was playing with this and there was sun in this room, if you reference this, it doesn't go to 0 because it was sensing some light. Actually, I'll probably do it now. I got some. No. When I was playing with this, there was sun coming into my room and I kept clicking the reference button to reset it, but it kept going on and off because there was light in here. So a key tip that I found, when you have this in here and you want to zero this out, you can push reference and it'll zero it out, and you'll notice that it's got the -50 in there, which is perfect. If you do that out in the sun, make sure you have maybe both caps on, but that was my tip. So let's try this. We have this and this. We do have to use this side. So we'll take the cap off of these two. Let's test one of these cables. For giggles tonight, on this part of the video, we will use our fiber cleaner. We'll go like this. 2. Stick it in there. Do the other one. 2. Put it over here. Okay, and we see light. Oh, these cables are, I got them backwards again. I like to keep them in their natural habitated form, so that way they don't cross over and nah. Look at that. I got a mess. So let's do this. Which way do they want to go? Naturally, they want to go like this. Perfect. Okay. I want to keep a nice even loop. That's why I'm doing this. I don't want to have them fighting each other. So we have our laser source set to 1550, our -5 dB. And we can see we are at 45.12 or 13. It might drift a little because this cable's moving around. That's why you want to set them down. So we want to push reference. Now it's at a 0. If we introduce some of these, we can test 2 cables and see what we get. So we'll use one of these. And the reason why I'm using these is because I need 2. The kit does come with, it's right, is this the multi-mode? That's multi-mode. We want the single mode. It does come with 2 of these, but I wanted 2 identical ones. So there's a multi or a single mode one right there. But I wanted 2 of them identical, so that way it's a little bit easier to measure. So we'll try this. We'll take it off this side. We'll plug this in here quickly. Make sure he doesn't lose his loop. Yep. We'll clean these just in case, just to show you guys that, yes, I know how to clean cables. Okay, we have a little notch in the top here. Oh, pick that off. And yes, this is hard to do when you're watching your hands and the screen at the same time. Okay, we'll take our cap off. Put this cap back on. Oh. And we'll stick it in here. And we'll see adding that cable in there with a not a splitter, but a coupler, we're at 0.10, and it's going to fluctuate because I'm moving the cable around, and probably, so if we go like this and move them around, you'll see that they change around, right? Down here, hopefully. Now, let's try adding in one more coupler and this brand new cable that we have here. Let's see what happens. We need one more coupler. And see how much loss we get between the 2 points. How much, actually we should have, what we should have done is gone like this. We should use this cable right here to actually set a reference, and then we can see what our loss is. So yep, we'll clean these ends again on this cable. This is the cable that comes with the kit, and right now we're going to show you what the loss is. So what we're doing is we're setting this up, all of these pieces of equipment with this cable in here, to be a 0, and whatever we change right here should be our loss. I'll put that on there. So 1, put it in there. I'm not in a dusty environment, so I'm not going to be too worried about dust stuff. But if you're outdoors, maybe be a little bit more. Okay, now we have our qualified certified cables in this loop with 2 couplers. What are we losing for loss? We're only at 0.17 with the couplers and the 3 cables. That's pretty good. So now what we want to do, actually 0.2. Now what we want to do is go reference. It'll 0 out. Now, whatever we change in this point, we should see a difference. Probably not going to be much of a difference in this long cable, but hey, let's see what we get. And that's just showing how good these devices really are, because they really are accurate. So there's one, and here's two. And down here, we are seeing, well, this cable moved, 0.15 dB loss out of a 150-foot cable. Probably not bad. Maybe these couplers are not aligned properly or something. Yeah, see, I pushed them. So we're only losing 0.9 dB because of that coupler. That's pretty good. These units are pretty freaking accurate. I really, really like these devices. Whoever designed them, set them up, did a really good job. So, on to another part. Okay, how to use the VFL. And it's amazing that I actually said it right this time. On this device, when you turn it on, you'll come to this screen. We can take this cable and wrap it so it's not so tight in my hands here. Go like this. 2 little spirals. I did cut my Velcro a little short, but that's fine. In this, to turn on the VFL on this device, down here we see a flashlight button. There's one, turn it on, and it turns on a white little LED, so if you're in a darker room, you can see things, right? But if you push and turn it off, right, once, and but hold it on, you'll see a nice bright light come on there. Do not look into that. I emphasize that a lot. You will go blind. It is very powerful. And the reason why it's red is because it's at 650 nanometers, and that's the color we can see. Anything above that, it's clear. We don't see anything. And as you see there, we got a pretty pattern, plus a very, 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 very bright light. This camera does not, let's see if I can, this camera does not show how bright it is because it's red, and our cameras on our phones don't really like that. So that's how to use that part on here. Turning it off, just hold the button down, pretty easy. We should remember to put our caps back on the cable. 1, 2, and on to the next. Do you think that was a good video? Yes or no? If you have any questions, let me know, because I'm still learning. I'm going to see if I can keep this a little bit longer, because I'm probably thinking I could do some more tests and stuff like that. And when they lent it to me, they said there was really no rush to get it back to them. So I got this video out. Maybe this will make more content and more questions. If you have them, leave them down below or send me an email, because my email's in the video.